the nature of polarization today, and partly the reason we have this affective polarization that we have, is because party identity has become sorted with all of these other communities that you're talking about, right? So there is still some overlap, what we call cross-cutting identities, but partisanship is now correlated at a very high level with all sorts of things that have nothing to do with politics, right? And so there are fewer opportunities for those types of interactions. People saying, oh, well, what does my faith-based community think about this? Well, for most people, it thinks exactly what they think. And that's part of the challenge. Now, that's normal. Polarization is totally normal. It was weird, the period of politics that I grew up with and that most of you in this room are sort of old enough to remember, where ideology wasn't even that correlated with your partisanship, right? That was weird. That was a leftover, basically, of the Civil War, right? And the fact that party identity is such a strong, lasting attachment. But it's much more normal when you have two parties for people to split into groups that are correlated with their ideology, with their worldview, with their race, their education level, all of these things. And so that's the really challenging thing that we face in this current moment. And that's why it's so important that the elites on the side where violence is happening immediately sort of saying, no, we can't have this. Because yes, maybe it's only 25%. In fact, I think it's less of people who think consciously violence is okay, violence is an option that's available to me. Most people aren't paying that much attention to politics right now. The problem is, by not paying attention to politics, they engage in this kind of blind partisanship. They just go with what their side says. And when you go with what your side says, you eventually normalize dehumanization, you normalize violence to a point where it just becomes part of our political culture, and that's what we have to avoid.